Hi, I'm Mark Pikert, founder of Meet Me at Crafty, and joining me today at the beautiful The Aviator on Melrose is the Burbs and the paper production designer, Susie Mancini. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much.
So I love the Burbs, and especially what you did on season 1, and season 2 just got announced. So congratulations on a second season.
Thank you.
But one of the most remarkable things about what you had to do for season 1 is you have the incredible NBC Universal lot and the cul-de-sac on that lot to play with for these exteriors. And what was it like getting to put your own imprint on these kind of iconic houses?
It was challenge number 1 for us. And it was great. It was a lot of fun and lots of research and trying to make it look different from all the other times we've seen.
Desperate Housewives. The creepy Victorian is the Munsters facade.
Yes. So no, it was coming up with every possible solution to take Colonial Street and make it ours for the Burbs and make it with color and architecture adjustments to the houses and just trying to make it look a little different and a little more special for us. And it was greens, paint, and construction all over again.
One of my favorite moments in the pilot is the jump cut laugh of seeing all of these beautiful, pristine houses and lawns, and then all of a sudden it's like this dead tooth just in the middle of the cul-de-sac.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. I had an incredible painters team. For me, painters always deserve a shout out because they really, truly make the sets. It's so important. And we did a lot of studying of the level of decay of an exterior house somewhere on the east coast of the United States for a length of time of about 20 years. And what exactly happens to a color, how much it desaturates, how fast the snow, the wind, the dryness of the sun, what are the elements that contribute to it, how is it gonna crack, how is it gonna peel, is it gonna bubble, is it gonna peel completely, it's just gonna peel. So that whole study was done and I chose a color, it was like a lobster red, and then to make it pinkish, I was like, so what would be a pinkish color? So the original color would be like a lobstery red. And then we created all different layers of age, and we kept some for certain areas of the house that were a little bit more hidden. So there is so much texture. So even for just that part, there was so much work. And then the whole architecture of the house, because it needed to be Victorian, and we picked a specific Victorian era, and it needed to be restyled or remoderned through the years, because probably people wouldn't have kept the same for 100 years. So I'm glad you liked it because we loved it. It was really fun.
But also, we spoke earlier in the year before the show had just premiered. And one of the things that I remember so vividly that I loved when we spoke is that you would just wander around the sets with an ager behind you, and you would just like point at things like hammer, ager, hit it, scuff it.
My art director, Robert Joseph, he makes fun of me every time that we do any set, literally, even for the paper, like very contemporary sets. And they sent me photos. I was like, it's pretty much done. I was like, well, it needs age. I was like, no, you want to age? No way. And then he shows me the entire team of painters ready to go in because they know that I am obsessed with aging.
They're just waiting for you to get give the starter pistol.
Yeah. And then we have the different levels. So when I say go crazy, or then it was just like a touch. But it is definitely, I would never do a set without at least a little bit of it.
No, because it's too perfect. You and I were talking about there has to be a level of lived-inness because unless you have company coming over, nothing is pristine. The pillows are not fluffed. There is an empty roll. There's a half-eaten roll of Ritz crackers on the coffee table.
Exactly.
That's from my own experience.
Exactly. That's where we pull from. The word of the day in the production meetings was cinematic, which is often used for contemporary TV shows. So in that vein, I always try to be grounded and inspired by realism. And so sometimes I watch TV shows that are great, but I'm kind of distracted by how neat everything is, almost commercial look-wise.
Yeah.
And so I was really trying to strive away from that look and that approach to the sets. So when it came to paint, was definitely a must. but also with my set decorator team, Ricci Ferrara, my incredible set decorator, we went in thinking, what would we do in our home? Like if we move into our husband's parents' house and we don't like it, and we just, we both of us shortly before had babies. So we were really in tune with the whole story of getting to deal with motherhood and the child in your house. And so we really just looked around, and whenever it was too clean, I was like, we need some junk over there. We need some pillows on the floor. This bed is definitely not done. The couch,
She's not making them. No one's making them.
Fluff. And that's was on my on-set dressers were trained to don't tidy up. I was like, keep it messy and make sure it's messy the entire time.
That's realism, that's grounded, but that's also the characters. I mean, Julia Duffy's character's house is so, when we finally get to see it, is so pristine. The pots and pans wall, I'm obsessed with the frying pan wall. I'm obsessed with it because it is so weird. And
I love that you love it.
And it's so gorgeous. It's such a detail.
I thought it was so cool. We were doing research, and I wanted for her something completely different from what everyone would have expected from her. So we've only seen so far her and her very warm and cozy and fuzzy little front yard, the front porch. And with wine.
Yeah.
Lots of wine and snacks and chats. Everything is flowery and green and beige and warm colors. And then we had a glimpse of the foyer that was like warm pink with full of art that she made. So we give you an idea of this persona. And then the first time that we see the kitchen, we're introducing this new layer to the character. And then we'll later find out, no spoilers, that she's hiding the dead husband in the kitchen. And you want to believe that she killed it.
I like that you preface that with no spoilers. Massive spoiler. In the walk-in freezer, the giant walk-in.
We're going to lead you to believe she might be mean. And also that, her husband was the chef. So I wanted to have a very masculine environment for a professional chef. So I try to go very far away from everything that we've done for her up until that time and move into potential killer, professional chef, very masculine. So I wanted gray and the burgundy. And then I found these images of these incredible kitchens. And I just picked like these hand-painted cabinets. They had like some Chinese designs, the one that we got in, that I saw that inspired me. So we just changed it with more Caravaggio-inspired paintings of the fruit. And then there was this image of this kitchen. It was like all steel, and he had this huge wall of steel full of pots and pans. I was like, we're going to do that. This is going to be super dramatic. And I remember that the first time I showed it to the producers and the creators, they were like, some really liked it, and some were like, I don't know if we need that. And I was like, I think we do. Like, let me just try. And then if you guys don't like it, we'll take the pots off.
You had no intention of taking those pots down either way.
I mean, I'm not the boss, so at some point I can try, and then I'm going to have to give in. But I tried, and then they saw it, and they were like, oh my God, we love it. So it worked out. Everybody was very happy.
For me, that kitchen is, and that wall in particular, is the Burbs in microcosm, because it's these pots and pans that should be like a symbol of home and hearth. But it's subtly menacing. All you can think about is hitting someone in the back of a head with a frying pan. Or at least
that's what make you think that. That's great.
That might say more about me than your set, but either way. The other thing about this set that's so crazy and that really not enough people talk about is you're also in charge of like the greens crew. Like you're navigating the landscaping.
Yes. For this specific show also was so big because we had so many exteriors. So we had to kind of match the front yards with the houses that we were doing. And again, going back to what I was saying at the beginning, kind of differentiate from what was there before. And then when it came to the Victorian, especially, we had to instead kind of do the opposite. So as much as everything else was curated, so we had a team on every day to just keep the grass clean and cut. Also, again, to create that environment that is like that perfect cul-de-sac, very inspirational, where everyone has the perfect front yard and it's very curated and manicured. We had to have people taking care of that every day. We had to change all the flowers. We had, especially with Lean's garden, there were so many flowers that through the weeks they would die. obviously. So we just had to replenish them and make them look fresh. Sometimes you use fake flowers, like lots of the roses were fake. So whatever, it's like deeper, it's fake. But yeah, and then the Victorian instead, we had to, as soon as we started prep and we knew which one would be the Victorian, we asked Universal to stop cutting the grass. The grass was taller and overgrown, and it kind of grows through the season. So in some episodes, I noticed it's taller than the other episodes. and then we had to de-leaf the bushes.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. And apparently, again, they are not hurting no plants are being hurt during the shooting of the Burbs, but they have been de-leafed. And just 2 bushes, and then we got like dead bushes just like with the branches planted in, and it was extremely fun and very different, again, never to the scope. And then we had to create the fact that this cul-de-sac is inside of the woods, like it's surrounded by woods, so lots of woods, lots of big guys.
I mean, I love, no one really understands how much a production designer is involved with like the woods.
Oh yeah.
You're dressing the woods.
Yes, we
Whether
go
you're
to
on
the
location,
woods.
yes.
We
And
go
then,
to Disney Ranch,
and then you make it more woods.
and then we make the woods in the woods. For example, in these TV show, there are lots of scenes at night in the woods, and there are like maybe 4 or 5 actors. One time we had a fire. One time there is people running after each other, and then there is the hatch. So the hatch, for example, the hatch has been done in 3 different places according to schedule. So we had to recreate the woods that we saw the first time in 3 different spots that were not the woods, and they were not at Disney Ranch. And the woods were like, like we have them, but we would like to have a more narrow passage for them to run through the trees for this scene. And then for the next scene, instead, we need an opening, but where you can kind of see the trees behind it. And there is none of that. So we had to bring in a ton of trees, and then is to recreate the trees that would be more on the East Coast. And then the woods is not just a big tree, it's a lot of different trees of different sizes.
Of course,
and then the floor. So it's a big, lots of trucks full of trees, like 3-4 trucks full of trees, 5 tons.
And people think production design is just like painting a wall and doing some furniture.
They're wrong.
You're creating woods within woods. You're creating creepier
you
woods.
try to do that.
I don't want to.
No, whomever says that, we just paint.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
They are them.
As we wrap up, what is your go-to on set at Craft Services?
So the first time we chatted, I said a spoonful of peanut butter.
Yes.
And it kind of still is.
Okay.
I can add to it an espresso with a spoonful of Nutella. I keep it simple.
Just 1 spoonful?
I'm a classic.
I allow myself 1 spoonful of peanut butter a day.
Now also I feel less guilty.
Well, yes. That was me on keto. I allowed myself 1 teaspoon of
do
peanut
that
butter at the end of the
time.
day. Yeah, just once.
And and then you never go to Crafty again.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
This took a deranged turn at the end, but of course it did. And thank you for tuning in.